Hello everybody, how you doing today? Superfiend here, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster Whacky World. We are still working on our Stingray monstrosity suspended coaster here. Before we get into it, before we work on this, I do want to go and check on like everything over here real quick and just make sure everything's going fine. We got lots of money, so I assume that it is. And before we do even that, I want to say that, again, I was a little light on videos this week. I tried to have 2 episodes pre-recorded for you guys for Monday and Tuesday, but I was only able to get Monday done. And then I wasn't able to record anything until today, and that's because my wife and I, on Monday, went to Six Flags Magic Mountain in California and had a great time. But I tell you, we must be getting older because those rides kicked the ever-living crap out of us. They are intense. We went on, I haven't been to Magic Mountain in like 10 years. And maybe more. And I'm trying to remember what was the last exciting ride that was at Magic Mountain the last time I went. That might have been Batman. And so, like, I'd never been on X2. I'd never been on Goliath. I'd never been on, what is it? The Scream. I'd never been on the Twisted Colossus. I'd never been on Tatsu. I'd never been on any of those. And X2 really whips you around. It doesn't look that intense when you're watching it, but then when you get on, it gets pretty crazy. Twisted Colossus is just psycho. That's a steel hybrid coaster. It's got big drops, but the rest of the coaster is very low to the ground. And my wife was screaming like hell because there's nothing to hold on to in that ride. You just got your lap bar and your seatbelt, and there's nothing to hold on to, and it constantly tries to throw you out of the train. And lots of whiplash and concussions, I think, all the way around. It was pretty brutal. It was a lot of fun, but again, that old age must be creeping in because it took like a day to recover, and some Motrin, ibuprofen. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go over here and let's see what's going on with the park. And let's see, attractions and shops. Let's just see. Okay, see, all of our shops are closed down again. So let's just open them back up. We keep having those problems. It's a big mess over here. Let's look at the attractions. Things are starting to be old, so it's time to rebrand them. So let's go ahead and get that done. We go into Prestige, right? Rebrand. It's been a while since we've had to do this. Little Arrow is rebranded. Twisty Turny. Twisty Turny is rebranded. Aging. What is this? Freaky Flyers. And the Carousel. Did I spell that right? Yeah, I spelled it right. And while we try to type Whirly Rig, I'll say that one thing that I was very pleasantly surprised with at Magic Mountain was Superman. They turned the... I don't know when they did this. Again, it's been a long time since I've been there, but I remember when Superman opened, and that's the one where the car, it's a launch coaster, and the car shoots forward, and then it goes up basically a big, tall, vertical lift, and then it falls back down backwards. When that first opened, they used to shoot you forward, and you would go up and just be looking at the sky, and then you would fall backwards and drift back into the coaster station. And I thought that was very boring. They've since turned the cars around, and you go up backwards, and it feels like you go really fast on that thing. That thing takes off like a bat out of hell. And it's a lot more fun going backwards, and then when you get up the big tall tower, you're facing down. It's a little bit more scary. And that it shows you how far ahead my wife thinks about things. She had no idea that it was a launch coaster. She didn't really think about like how does the little car get way up that tower, despite the fact that the track is flat. And despite the fact that we must have seen Superman going, I don't know how many times throughout the day while we were in line for nearby attractions like Goliath and Twisted Colossus. And when we got on that thing and they started the launch sequence, it really caught her by surprise. She didn't even really have time to react to what was going on. And that was fun to watch. So anyways, good time at Magic Mountain. If you're young and vibrant and you live in the area and you haven't been there in a while like I hadn't, I highly recommend going. It was a lot of fun. And then since we went on Monday, there were no lines. I think the longest we waited to go on anything might have been 15 minutes. I mean, might have. Most of the rides we just walked right onto. Viper's coaster station was absolutely empty. There was nobody in the queue. We got in there and there were like 4 people waiting to get on the ride. Let's see, Scream. I think it's Scream. Scream was empty. The Riddler's Revenge was mostly empty. We walked right onto that thing. They have a new Justice League. It's one of those kind of like Omnimover type things, but and the guns that you shoot, kind of like the Buzz Lightyear ride or Toy Story ride at Disneyland, and Legoland's got a Ninjago one, and the one at Magic Mountain, the Justice League one, is very cool. It's kind of like a combination of Star Tours and like the little gun rides, because the track, when you get on it does move around a lot like Star Tours does, and it's got a much bigger sensation of moving around and stuff. It was very fun. I enjoyed it. We almost didn't go on it because I think those things are kind of boring, but I'm glad we did. So, okay, now Superfiend, what have you done? I opened up the top here, and I'm going to close it back up this episode. But what I want to do is I want this area to be closed off to the lighting in the sunlight. And I want to add more of the blue lights in here. We have some blue lights in this thing. And if we select this little wooden post, we can see them here. And I want to fill this cavern up with blue light, but I don't want to be working in the dark while we do it. So I just went ahead and I opened up the top. We can always close it back up if we want to. And in fact, I'm gonna push it away over here too, so we can kind of really get some good lighting in here and see what it is we're looking at. It's really hard to work. Oh, come on! It's really hard to work on scenery elements and stuff in underground areas of the game because it restricts the camera, and then every once in a while the camera like bounces out, and it's a pain in the butt. So if we open up the lights in here and we can see more, we'll have a better time of it, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, let's see. All of these lights that I've so far placed around in here are these spotlights or these floodlights are attached to this building. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to delete that building. That gets rid of all the lights. And I'm just going to recreate it. And you'll see why I'm doing this in just a second. Let's go ahead and find our little post. And we'll turn the building kind of like this so the grid kind of lines up with the cavern. Not exactly. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop another post right here. And now we're going to go over to the wall decorations, the lights, and we're going to get, I think I want to work with the floodlights. I think I want the floodlights. So if we put like one, okay, let's see. It wants to, and which way are the axes? Okay, so it wants to move it this way. So actually, here's a good way to do this. I want to get 4 of them like evenly spaced. And so let's get a flat roof. There, we'll just do that. We'll go back to the lights. Floodlight. And there we go. Now they're evenly spaced. And we can get rid of the ceiling pieces. We can select the lights and just kind of move them down a little bit. And then we'll change the color to this, I think kind of like this blue. Well, you know what? We'll pick a light blue to start with. Okay, we'll pick a light blue. And if we want to see exactly what that color looks like, we can change it to PM. And so that is the interior, the lighting that will be inside of this cavern. It's going to look like that. And so now let's go ahead and set this back to PM. Close that. And the other thing I kind of want to do is I want to edit this building. I want to pick each of these individually. I want to turn angle snap on. And we'll just do 30-degree increments. And I think I would just want to turn them each like this. So they're not pointed straight up and down. Whoa, that was too much. Okay. And then what I'd like to do is I'm going to take this piece here, and because they are attached to that 1M grid section, we can move them all as a bunch, and we're just going to fill this cavern up. And I think I'm gonna do another one, and maybe we'll leave like, if this thing is like a 2x2, then this is a 2x2 and that's a 2x2. So we'll space them like, that's one, that's one. We'll just make a box, okay, like this. And then now that we've got that, we're gonna repeat this box. And again, this is my philosophy of do too much and then take away what you don't want to keep, right? That's what we're doing here. Okay, we get stuck on the hill. Come on, camera. All right, I guess we'll just duplicate these ones. Okay, so we're just evenly spacing these throughout this big area here. And now it's starting to even get a little laggy. Now, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and so one more. Okay. And that is how lit up the cavern becomes. And let's see, I think we want to move some. So if we select these ones, actually, I don't think we need all of them. I think we can just do these ones right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more. So that gets 1, 2, 3. That gets 4 in between. And that is 4 in between. Now these ones we can't go all the way over. Okay, that's where those ones end up. So we've got some like wasted lights, right? Because they're in the dirt. That's okay. That's okay. And where else should we put some? Just trying to decide. Do we want any like over here? Where would they go? They'd go right there. Okay. And now we can get rid of these ones. We don't need those, right? So this is obviously very bad, very ugly. And what we're going to do next is, now that we have all this lighting in here, I think we can close it back up and it should stay pretty well lit. It should. And what is going to be the easiest way to accomplish this? Probably from up here. Okay, so I think we want the camera like right here. And we'll just close the top back up. We're going to do pull. Okay. And we'll just grow these together. And we're using a very wide radius brush here. Okay, let's close it up. And then we'll fly inside and we'll see how well we accomplished our goal of getting this area nice and lit up, right? Okay, so fly around here. Okay, so yeah, we did it. Okay. It's way too bright, right? Way too bright. And what else can we do? You know, I almost feel like we want to close this off too. I do. I really feel like we want to close this off. At least up top, at least above the coaster. Okay, so let's try that. Let's change it to a little bit smaller of a brush. Okay, and let's just go over the top of the coaster here. Okay. And I guess we got to close it up here too. So we start going down. Okay, we got those connected. And okay, so let's see, how's this gonna end up looking? I guess we'll go over the top of this. And we'll grow those together. And we just want to get it nice and dark inside. We want to block most of the regular game light from getting in. Okay. And let's fly in and just look at what effect that has. Okay, that's a little bit better. And so then what we can do, okay, now if we close up the floor here just a little bit, okay, we can block this light, like this area can be a little bit lit up from the outside. But then we can block that light from getting into the larger area of the cavern. Okay, and so we'll just connect these up. And let's see, I think now we want to start growing this way. Okay, and whoop. Okay, and then we'll just lift this up. Okay, and see, so what this does is it lets this area be lit up. And let's see, at this point they're face up. So if we do want to dig a hole in here, like this is a good spot. And where we want it to be dark is maybe right here because they're face up. Okay, and then let's see, this way they're kind of looking in. You can kind of see in. Not very well, but a little bit. And let's see. So now what's this look like in here? Yeah, nice and lit up, nice and blue. And we're really blocking almost all the light from getting in there. And I think we want to close this up more. Okay, that was too much. Too much camera movement. Okay, and then we'll lift this. Okay, and okay, and then let's not forget that the path comes out here, but what we can do is we can build this down. Okay, so if we lift up like right around here, whoops. Oh, we'll fix that area over by the path. Now, let's not forget that we were going to build some sort of like building over here too. So let's see. All right, we were thinking about building some sort of building over there. Okay, so what we do is we lift that up a little bit. And well, we can kind of close it off for now. We can always come back in and figure out like exactly what we're going to do in here. And let's just change it to 6 meter wide and just draw right where the path is. And we'll just kind of like flatten that. Okay, so there is a way to get out here. Okay, and I do think that we are going to build a building over here. So let's just kind of flatten. Okay, or we're gonna put something over here because this is where the cue is gonna like go over to this thing, right? And let's see. Do we want flatten the surface or do we just want to chisel? I think we just want to chisel away here. Whoa, too much. Okay, so we're just gonna like carve this thing flat. That's getting the floor. Okay. And we're getting these weird blue lights here from the floodlights that are buried down here. That's okay. Not worried about that. We can always come in and fix that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, so we can still get like a building right here. Okay, so this is where you get in line for the queue, and then you go up here, and you come into this wonderfully lit cavern. We're going to take away a lot of these lights. Okay, we're going to take some away. I don't know how many. I don't know exactly how many we're going to take away, but it is going to be darker in here than this, but still have a nice glow to it. And let's see, up here. Okay, so I think we can close this off a little bit more. Let's get our pole. And do we want to close this off too? I think we're kind of okay with that being how it is. And I'm kind of okay with all this. Let's close this little hole. Okay. And I think we want to roughen things up just a little bit. So get like a big brush. And we'll just roughen up the inside of this thing. Where the coaster is too. Okay. And what is over here? We used to have, the track used to go through there, huh? Yeah, it did. Okay, well, we can close all this up. We don't need this anymore. Okay. And, you know, this is kind of cool having this, this little tunnel thing over there. I don't know if I'm going to close that up or not. And we still got quite a bit of light in here. I want to bring this down. I want it to be a little bit darker. So what we're going to do is just make everything a little bit bigger and more intense. And we'll just kind of drop the whole ceiling down. Until we get that blue, the blue from the floodlights just on it. Okay, and then we'll roughen things up. Let's pull this a little tighter. And we'll get this one too. So this is when they're going back out, right? They fly through here. Oops. How did I do that? I didn't want it. Whoa, whoa. Okay, normally you can't go through. It's stuck. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Camera. Okay, it's because I wasn't in the first person camp. Good grief. Camera in this game sometimes. Ugh. Okay, so as they come through here, they come up, they do a little twist. Where are they twisting? They are twisting to the left. And they'll get like one last glimpse of this thing before they leave. It's a little rough in here. Let's actually let's roughen it a little bit more. Yeah, let's make it nice and rough. And then let's paint it. Okay. See, look at this. It's just the painting the insides of your caves and stuff just makes all the difference in the world. To me anyways. Okay. Okay, we'll paint everything. We don't have to be meticulous and paint it all because a lot of it we really can't even see. And then just like before, we'll take a big brush, low intensity, and just kind of splotch it around on these other areas. The Planet Coaster version of Bob Ross. Happy little accidents and all that. Okay. So as they come through here and come up, they get a nice little view of the cavern before they leave one last time. Eject it out into the bright sun. Ah, my eyes. And then they fall down in here. And we could do something else to make this a little bit more exciting. We could add another little, like a barrel roll or something in there. I don't know if we need to. This coaster is finally a 6.0 excitement, which is, it was hard to get it that way. So, you know, I'm inclined to leave it because it was already difficult enough to do that much with it. And, okay, we got a big brush. Let's just roughen up the outside a little bit. That looks like it smoothed everything over there. Let's undo that. And let's paint again. And then low intensity. And fly up, 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 and away. And then we'll look at the top. Looks hideous. Low intensity. And let's roughen this up a little bit. Because I think if we get some more varied textures in here, it'll just make the painting look a little bit better. Not much. Okay. And what does this look like from way over here? Let's just see. All right. What kind of sight line are we going to end up with over here? Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So you got this like interesting view of like what's going on over here with these things. And you don't really know which way it's going in here. Like at first glance, you have to actually see the car. And as you come around here, I think that the, what is this? The Charoplane, I think it's going to move. I don't think it's going to be here when the park is done. This is looking really cool. I don't know if I like this chain lift specifically like this. I don't know. I don't know. We might do something else in here with this chain lift instead. We could make this a more vertical chain lift and oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm completely satisfied with the way this looks. And we're going to have to go in and like add some trees and stuff. And I just don't know. I think it might be better off if we maybe carried this water element a little bit further back. But then if we connect the two water sources together, ooh, that's risky. If we connect the two water sources together, they're at different elevations. I think this one is higher than this one, so that won't work. I don't know. We'll see. So now that this is all closed off, this is how bright it is in here. And honestly, it's too bright. We want to undo some of it. And okay, what's this up here? This is that spot, right? I think we're getting a little too much light coming in through there. But then again, I don't know. I kind of like it. So as they come through here, what's it look like? Very tight, very compact. I think we need to open this up just a little bit. I think it's too tight in here. So we're going to go with a small brush. And we're just going to kind of like push some of these elements back. And just open it up just a little bit. So that the coaster car has more room as it travels through here. Okay. I think that is sufficient. I'm happy with that. Go ahead and paint the terrain again, paint the rocks again. Okay. A little bit of grass is okay. So they come through here, and this is cool because they'll be looking down at whatever's underneath there as they fly by. They won't really have any time to enjoy it because they go so fast. And you got some nice views as you like go flying through here, right? And they're gonna roll onto their backs. Tatsu does something like this. It's pretty intense. And then down here, okay, so one thing I don't like about this is we can't really see that there's water in here anymore. Can't really see it. So what we're going to do is, let's see. And I also, okay, well, let's do this first. Let's do the first thing that I think we should do. Let's go ahead and select, not the ride, I want the building. We're going to edit the building, and we're going to move our little wood post here outside so we can see it. And I want to select the whole building. Everything in this building. That's all of it. And then I want to deselect the wood post, and I want to change it to grid height. I want to change the grid height, and then now M. And I want to sink everything down a little bit. But I don't know how high because now I'm not inside. Okay, so maybe about down to there. And let's see what happens. Where is the water? We do still have water in here, right? Okay, we got the water right here. Okay, let's see. Now, one other thing I could do is, let's see, we could start, see, do I want to remove these little 1M posts? I think it won't let me click on that one. Okay, the problem that we're having right now, or at least that I'm having, is you can't really see that there's water here anymore because of all this bright light. Bright light, bright light. And so let's see. Okay, that moves the whole building. Didn't want that. Edit. Yeah, I gotta go select the whole building again. So we'll go way over here. That should be the whole building. And then we'll go way over here. Deselect this, and then we'll go way over here. Let's lower it while we're inside. And it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, so now we can see that there's water, right? Now we can kind of see that there's water in here. But you know what? I think it was better when it was just a wee bit lower. I think it was. So let's do it again. Let's select the building. Edit. Select everything. This is tricky. It's a little tedious. Deselect that. We'll fly back inside. And we'll get ourselves positioned over here. And M, that moves everything. How far down do we need to go? Oh, I don't know, about like that? Okay. And then what we're going to start doing is we're going to start removing selectively these lights. I think we're going to start removing them. We'll do that in the next episode, I think. And what we'll do is we'll start removing some lights, and we'll start duplicating some lights like around the top on the ceiling. So let's see if we where's that little post again? Where'd you go? There you are. All right, so if we like come in here and let's just get a light, that one. Okay, so then the other thing we'll do is we'll start, we'll just start adding some floodlights on the top. Okay. In a few spots here, so let's see where else. Like right there. Let's see. That's a pretty decent spot. And we'll just add them around the room. Although I never like it when I place like floodlights in such visible locations like this. I always think it looks tacky. But I see other people do it, like on the workshop and YouTube, and I'm like, it doesn't look so bad. But then I do it and I dislike it. Because we are always our own worst critic. Don't ever forget that. Whatever it is you do or make, you will judge yourself worse than anybody else will, typically. At least when it comes to creativity, creative stuff. That comment does not apply to the judicial process. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we got some floodlights up top too. And that kind of helps cast the general lighting. And let's change this back to AM again so we can just see what everything looks like when it's dark outside. So we definitely now want to come through here and start removing some of these really, really, really bright lights under the water. And as we do that, we got another hole here that I didn't notice before. And as we do that, this area will get a little bit darker, and we can judge the effect as we remove one individual light at a time, and we'll be able to get it just dimly lit. And we'll still be able to notice that we got water now because we got the little wavies down here by the coaster supports. And after we do that, we're going to do a little bit of terraforming in here. I want to make like a little pirate island with a treasure chest on it. I want to put the Kraken scenery in here, the animatronic, and a couple other things. And then, let's see, we can build up our little shopping center, whatever it is going to be over here, and connect up this path and build the queue station out here. And then this ride's going to be pretty much done. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. And have a great afternoon.